Okay, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. Actually, today we're continuing, we didn't know we would be, but we're continuing where we left off yesterday. You recall we're talking about the whole Omicron brouhaha and what the UAE's behavior towards Nigeria, as well as the UK for that matter. But by now, everybody's heard it that the UAE has shifted ground, and the UK itself, UK has actually scrapped its travel red list, as UK Health Secretary Jide Johnson told Parliament yesterday. Okay, so as it were, our suit yesterday, we're taking the same suit again today, welcoming Dr. Jide Johnson, Chief Lecturer, NIJ.
It's a pleasure to be with you once again.
Thank you.
Good morning to our viewers all over the world.
Indeed, so we can continue where we left off, because I would imagine that anytime you have anything to say about Nigeria in a corporate sort of way, especially when it has to do with external relations and how we are perceived, a lot of people want to contribute to the conversation.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I would imagine we thought that maybe we didn't get everyone in yesterday that wanted to say something. So today is another day. And then there is good news. We'll also be joined in Abuja by Mr. Goddy Ike, Aviation Expert, who has been on the program before in relation to this particular topic. And so as soon as we can, we'll say good morning to Goddy Ike, Aviation Expert, via Zoom from Abuja. So, Doctor, there we have it. As one paper put it, to sort of, a bit of purloining going on there. UAE shifts ground. Aha. Well, it must be. What do you think was the reason for this sort of about turn, both between the UAE, who had annoyed Nigerians, not to mention Nigerian authorities, had annoyed Nigerians, as well as the UK. Now, Health Secretary Jide Johnson telling Parliament that the travel red list actually is ineffective, not working, and therefore they're scrapping it.
Well, congratulations to Nigerians and for fighting the battle and winning this particular battle, because whatever affects in Nigeria affects the totality of every Nigerian. And as far as we are concerned, we felt that Nigeria was singled out because Nigeria was the only country in the Western Hemisphere, Sub-Saharan Africa, while other 10 countries were from the Eastern and Southern African Hemisphere. So why should it be Nigeria? And then why should we single out African countries in this? So as far as I'm concerned, it's a win on the diplomatic front. It's a win on the economic front. Don't forget that there is the economic dimension to all of these things which we are talking about. And thank God, Goddy will be talking about the aviation sector and the hospitality business, and consider that we are in the yellow tide season, where a lot of families will be traveling and be connecting with one another. Some will be coming to Africa, some will be going to Europe. This is a period of the year in which families come together. It's the holiday season, and so it's this particular season you want to talk about disruption in family reunion and the rest of it. So it's a win-win situation for we are all winners in this particular situation. We want a situation whereby there won't be artificial restriction on the movement of people, and it won't also have an effect on the businesses of people.
And look, everybody is saying that the aviation minister, Sirika, say, look, they really are on the same page with him, that they're proud that for the first time, we say that sometimes because we tend to exaggerate. There have been many times that officials have done the right thing for Nigeria. But when a Nigerian says, for the first time, he's telling you he's impressed, he's not necessarily very accurate. But it's also noteworthy that two things. Number one, we're reading in the press that the aviation ministry hasn't responded yet as it relates to the situation with UAE. Remember, UAE, the minister had said that they had written an insulting letter for whatever reason. And now they've come back and they've said that airpiece, never mind 3, take 6 out of 7 of every week, fly in every day and come to the main airport. So after the reason they gave, for not even allowing, Air Peace to take 3, it shows you that there was some hanky-panky going on.
I think when it gets to the relationship was at business level, then you get to diplomatic level. I saw the letter that was written by the head of the Dubai Civil Aviation Authority to the proprietor of Air Peace, stating and providing details as regards who to contact, who to relate.
Yes.
This is the way business should be done. Now, this is the way business should be done. International business operates within international relation. And within international relation, you can't take away diplomacy. And that's the way it should be conducted. If we give you opportunities to come to our country, you should also give us opportunity to come to our country. Sometimes crisis is good. Sometimes crisis is good.
It helps you define lines.
Exactly. It helps you to redefine lines, territories, and borders, and you reach an agreement and you reach a consensus of opinion. You are able to share your own point of view that you know what, I've been tolerant of your own excesses. I'm only asking you to give me equal opportunity or give me some measure of opportunities to operate within the business. So when you put all the cards on the table, you discover that Nigeria has been fair to UAE, as UAE been fair to Nigeria. And in response to that, UAE itself has said, you know what, you are asking for 3. We are giving you 6 out of 7 days flying. And this is what we look for.
It remains to be seen if Nigeria is even going to agree to that. Because we don't know yet.
Well, for me, I think it's an olive branch.
It is.
That has been extended. We want nations of the world to cooperate. We want nations of the world to relate better with one another. We want trade to flow between our countries and other countries. We want migration to take place between our country and other countries. We want our citizens to freely go to their country and for them to freely come to our country. In actual sense, when we are taken as slaves, we don't need visa to go to foreign countries. When they were colonial masters, we don't need visa to go to their country. When they were exploiting our natural resources and our economic wealth, we don't need visa. Now that we are no longer their colonial territories, we now require visas for us for us. So all those artificial restrictions in terms of trade, in terms of movement of people, migration of people, I think there's a need for us to look at it, and then Africans shouldn't be singled out for all of this.
Indeed.
For all of this.
That's for sure. Now, Jide, you were talking about it being an olive branch from especially the UAE, from the UAE. It needs to be understood that, Nigeria was sort of reticent. Nigeria behaved in a very mature way, because I was reading that the federal government was actually holding on the question of a retaliatory strike. This was as all of this was coming in, meaning that the minister in the audio piece that had been heard over the weekend was saying that, look, by Tuesday latest, he would expect that all these retaliatory measures would be in place. But it appears that the federal government, with its own council, has said, just hold on for a while. And while that was on, all these, appeasements start coming in.
Before we read stuff on the pages of newspaper, we heard via the airwaves on radio and TV and the rest of it, there must have been 1, 2, 3 level of conversation going on. At diplomatic level, conversations are ongoing 24/7. They are not controlled by the news cycle of our production, which we are controlled by. So there are different levels of conversation that are taking place.
Indeed.
That are taking place.
At the diplomatic level.
I think at that level, there were conversations, there were ongoing conversations. As far as we are concerned, we are not interested in the details of the conversation. What we are interested is in the result.
The result.
And that's why the approach that the government adopted should be commended. There's no doubt about it. We shouldn't be throwing sticks at government all the time.
Indeed.
When government does something remarkable, we should be able to point it out that, well, this approach that government has adopted has really worked, and we should always take this approach in dealing with problems.
And talking about social media, I think the the aviation minister, Sirika, it was a masterly use of social media. You know, it's not always that social media is used in this kind of a way, because you heard directly from the source. Usually he will be reported or, you know, go on television. Now he just went a bit under, so to speak, and it looks as if, you know, it was leaked. But just about every Nigerian heard the minister speaking, and speaking as, you know, to paraphrase him, that there are some decisions he was going to be taking, he had even taken on behalf of what he referred to as the sovereignty of 200 million Nigerians. Yeah. And especially as the UAE, for whatever reason, if it is not a rumor, because sometimes other people get in on a story, if it is not a rumor, reportedly telling other airlines, do not fly any Nigerian passport holding passenger from wherever into Dubai. Now, that we don't know. We can't vouch for that.
Until you see,
but you see,
Uncle Yori, if we provide the red list on ourselves, we close that border. UAE cannot compete with Lagos.
I get what you say. Now, let me say good morning to Mr. Goddy Ike, who I understand we can reach now. Good morning, Goddy, and thank you very much for joining us again today.
Hi, good morning. Who am I speaking with now?
This is Yori Folari, and I'm in studio with yeah, this is Yori Folari. I'm in studio with the same guest that you also were in studio with the other day, Mr. Dr. Jide Johnson, Chief Lecturer at the Nigerian Institute of Journalism. Well, Goddy, I can see that you're smiling.
Oh yes, I am. I am. Every reasonable Nigerian is thrilled. And you will never understand the joy in my heart. Even though I have a couple of harder, stands to share with the Honorable Minister, it's not enough that they've announced what they've announced. But yeah, when it gets to my turn to speak, I would tell you quite a lot. And then hope that the minister hear me loud and clear.
Well, actually, it's your turn now, Goddy. It's your turn now. That's why we've come to you. And maybe you also want to comment. I was just saying I didn't know if it was a rumor or not that UAE reportedly had said that it was even addressing other airlines not to fly Nigerian passport holding passengers into Dubai from wherever. As I was saying, we don't know if that's a rumor or not.
But yeah, Folari, don't bog your head or mind over the issue of rumor or no rumor. I want you to understand that if there's anywhere beautiful lies are told, it's in the circles of diplomacy. You must understand that. I call them beautiful lies because they do not always want to be referred to as liars, and that language is never used in diplomacy. But as an adult, when a fellow adult lies, you know you've been lied to, but you never mention it, and then you just find a way to get around it.
It is what it is.
You will never know the truth. Now that things are going on the way they are going to deny if you ask them. So don't bother yourself, don't bog your mind. The bottom line is getting what we want in the game. It's a game.
Okay, all right.
Diplomacy is a game.
It certainly is, the way it's seeming. Goddy, what do you think of the news report that the federal government was actually holding on the matter of retaliatory measures? That was a news report, and in the midst of all of that, that haven't gone out, now all these conciliatory moves coming from both the UK, as you have heard, I'm sure, that Sajid Javid was, speaking to Parliament, and the UAE has now said they doubled even what Air Peace was asking for, that they were reluctant to give. Now they've doubled that. How do you read all of this?
There again, I want to say to you on the issue of what federal government was preparing to do or was not, should also not bog your mind. You will also never know the truth. More often than not, in government, a whole lot are classified until the chief executive and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the nation and I'm referring to the Mr. President, gives a signed order, not even verbal, a signed order, go release this information. And until then, it's all classified, and you are not supposed to speak. And so, there again, Fulari, I tell you, don't bog your mind and waste your time, wondering whether it's true or false. But let's address what the real issues are, and then make this a turning point for Nigeria as a nation. You remember when we were talking, was it yesterday?
The day before.
Hello, are you here?
Yes, it was day before yesterday, I believe.
Yesterday. Yeah. Yes, you remember I told you in blunt, clear language that I expected Nigeria to stand her ground and ignore these people, that they were bluffing. And at the end of the day, they are going to buckle. And that's exactly what has happened. Now, you may not know this piece of history I want to share with you right now. The very first jet plane the leader of UAE flew was donated by Nigeria. Do you know about that history?
That's new on me.
Very well. If you get on my YouTube channel, if you permit me, I'm going to be announcing what the channel is. You see a whole lot, over 200 30-minute videos on different topics, and I will ask you to go to the rise and fall of Nigeria Airways.
Okay.
And then you will hear. Yes, if you permit me, I will announce the YouTube channel address.
Well, you just
anyone who wants to go and take a look.
Okay, but you just that if you were to search on YouTube the rise and fall of Nigeria Airways, it would be on your channel.
No, it's better for you to get to my channel so that you see all the videos staring at you, all of them.
Okay.
And then by the time you make your search, you now see the 7 episodes of 30 minutes each that have to do with the rise and fall of Nigeria Airways.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you just search randomly, you're going to get one episode here and there, and then mixed up with
I get you.
Yeah. So that's why.
So there's a historical analysis that people can key into, is what you're saying.
Yes. So that's correct. Should I go ahead and announce it?
Go ahead. What is it? Give it to me.
All right. It's called. The channel address is Aviation Freaks Official. Now, AVIATIONFREAKS as one word.
I got you.
Then you give gap. You give just one gap, and then you write official.
Oh.
That is, I repeat, AVIATIONFREAKS as one word. Aviation Freaks. Then you give one gap, and then you write the word official.
Okay.
OFFIEIAL.
Okay.
And then you're going to see the nose. You're going to see the nose of a jumbo jet staring at you. Tap on the nose of that jet, and all the videos will drop in front of you right away. All of them.
So this has gone. So this whole thing has gone, Goddy, pretty much the way you expected. With your knowledge, you knew this was what it was going to come to. UAE was going to have to back down.
As a matter of fact, it's not enough that they mentioned 6. I will use this opportunity to address Honorable Minister Hadi Sirika. You must insist on the same 21 they have, and then we gradually and consistently build our capacity, and someday in the future meet up with the 21. It's tricky for them to turn around and say, okay, we have arrived you 6 or 7. It's very tricky and insulting.
Indeed.
We can't accept it.
All right.
Yeah, we can't accept it. Hadi Sirika, if you're watching, very respectfully, I am asking you.
Okay, it hooked for a while. You see, Jide, maybe both the UK and maybe both the UK and the UAE, for instance, are tuning into Nigerian channels. Maybe they're reading Nigerian blogs, maybe they're reading Nigerian stories, and they can see that they have a whole country that doesn't see it from their point of view at all.
You saw the interview of the ambassador of Nigeria to Great Britain, High Commission.
Yes.
We saw the interview of Dr. Alakija both interviews were on BBC. And then don't forget that if you put the whole of Africans together, 7 out of 10 is a Nigerian. So from economic point of view, from international trade point of view, Nigeria cannot be taken for granted. Do you know how many Nigerians are flying to the Great Britain over this season?
I think that much Nigerians themselves have
it's
said,
affecting
even before the government has said so.
It's affecting their travel business. Do you know how many Nigerians are coming back from Great Britain to Nigeria during this season? Do you know? So essentially, it's a matter of trade. It's a matter of your GDP and your GNP. What comes in, your foreign direct investment that goes in. You know, a lot of money that goes into the hospitality business. So beyond the facade they put up concerning we are protecting our citizens, we are doing this, there's the business dimension, there's international trade angle to it. And you can't joke with Nigeria.
You know, I think they
the whole of the population of Nigeria is more than that of the entire West Africa.
It did.
And will you not toy with that? No, it's not. It's
you know, as Goddy was pointing out, the diplomacy business is what it is. They're not going to admit that necessarily that errors were made, but clearly they've had a rethink.
But I agree with him that we should ask for 21.
Yes.
We should. Nations shouldn't be taking us for granted.
Because if they have 21, if they have 21 into Nigeria, well, so why?
21, if the investment we have made in other African countries, in other countries of the world. Now it was newsworthy to hear that the first jet their leader rode on was provided for by Nigeria. That means that we've done something positive, something good for this nation. So they should reciprocate.
Indeed.
These good gestures.
Let's hear it from Ada. Good morning, Ada in Jos.
Good morning, Mr. Yoria and Dr. Jide and Goddy Ike.
Yeah.
Ada from Jos. I got through today. Yesterday I was really mad. I was just saying I hope Yoria will bring up this topic today. You know, I couldn't get through. You know, it is really sad. I couldn't believe it. They're just taking us for granted. And I thank the federal government for summoning the courage, even though we were bargaining from a weak point. But at least to apply the law of reciprocity, I don't want to call it retaliation, you know. So at least they heard the news, they heard everything. So what I'm trying to say now, look at UAE, what they did now. They said it can now take 6 slots.
Yes.
What has changed? That time when they were saying they didn't give him 3, and they said it's only 1 from even the 3. What has changed, Mr. Lloyd? Nothing changed. It's just that they felt it's business as usual, you know, and I'm happy that it was corrected because the grapevine, people were saying it's because the HPC is from a certain tribe, you know, and just telling what was going on. So I'm so happy we are breaking this ice now, and the people have known the real truth, you know. So it's really unfortunate. That action was unnecessarily discriminating and punitive in the sense of it. But having said that, I would say that we should also have a attitudinal change when it comes to the COVID issue. You know, that of UK. They are the ones that we lose. We are providing a big large market for them, but that doesn't mean that we just keep on providing market for people. We should also try and improve on our own trade balance. You know? So that means that we should improve on our trust, you know, help to improve on our trust, the way we manage our tests and data, you know, all those things will help. And then again, the million vaccines expired here. Do you know that?
Yes, we do. And they are plans for their destruction.
It's really sad. It's really sad. You know, they were talking about vaccine inequity, and then we allowed 1 million to expire here. I was able to get Dr. Bukata. He teacher in the other program, NTA Tuesday Live, and I asked him yesterday, how come we allow these vaccines to expire? He said it will not happen again. Like it was bureaucracy. The NAFDAC had to take. How long will it take NAFDAC to certify? I think they will even have anything that comes from the West. Oh. We should be careful the way we do things.
Indeed, Ada. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Ada. You know, we were told, Ada, that among other things, I think the most important thing is that those vaccines expired because of their short shelf life, according
lifespan.
You know,
according to their shelf lifespan.
Yes.
We must not take it as a Greek gift.
Well, Well, exactly. So, as Ada is saying, we have to be very, very careful about this.
So that we don't turn our people to guinea pigs.
Okay. Goddy Ike, Jide Johnson, we'll take a quick break now. Please stay with us. We'll be right back, and we'll continue with your calls from home too. Okay, welcome back. Dr. Jide Johnson in studio, Goddy Ike, aviation expert on Zoom in Abuja, and Jide in the UK has phoned in. Good morning, Jide.
Good morning, Mr. Yorin. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Yorin, we've had so much of a policy somersault in Nigeria, and it seems to be very, very disappointing. I'm beginning to feel that we have lost the plot. Our civil servants are very, very unpatriotic. We've had this problem with BA. We have short memory. We have situations, we have the PID where someone took money. If we have to investigate this, let's get serious. Let our civil servants, let's get people who are more patriotic in the civil service. It is very embarrassing.
Jide, are we on the same page? We're talking about, quite frankly, the UAE and the UK backing down on their former, on their former position regarding travel as a result of Omicron, and we're sort of, patting ourselves on the back that, well, we all spoke up and the government didn't have any choice. Indeed, the UK, UAE didn't have any choice. So if we're on that same page, I'm trying to understand.
We're on the same page. All I'm trying to say is that, look, we have made mistakes in the past, and we continue to make these mistakes.
All right.
The citizens are suffering from mistakes done by our civil servants or those policy makers.
Okay.
The policy failures. In the past, the PID, there are so many things that are wrong in the country, whereby ordinarily they shouldn't be. If we are patriotic, we are too corrupt. That is the position I have now. We are too corrupt. How can you, in the ab initio, give you Emirates 21 slot? You must have some. Look, let me tell you for a fact. I know this. Nigerians, we have all these airlines and multinationals have directors in Nigeria. They are local directors. They are responsible for all these failures. They sell us. They are selling Nigeria. Nigeria has been sold.
All right. Okay. I'll get you, Jide. Well, thank you very much for calling in. Goddy, let me come to you. That last caller felt that that we are somehow, at least partially, the architect of some of these problems that we see. And he cited the example of, why on earth would you give them 21 slots? What would be your comment to his observation?
Oh, well, it's there's no gainsaying the fact that we're running an extremely corrupt system. Yes, there's no gainsaying it. We almost accept this so that we can change. That's number one. Number two, there is no way every Nigerian will not be involved one way or the other to build the society we are looking for. I often say to anyone that listens to me, this is not a question of they or them. It's a question of every one of us. And the principle is very simple, Folari. Any little circle where you have influence and where you have people beneath you listening to you, ensure that what goes on there is the right thing all the time. Not sometimes, all the time. Now, I hear people often say, Namigo change Nigeria. Are they too small to change Nigeria? It's a lie. There is no small Nigerian, no matter how rich or how poor. It is a question of, as an adult, you know what's right. Do not do what's wrong. Once you control that little circle, you know what's going to happen, Folari? Those little circles will add up and give us the effect we are looking for. A good nation will never fall from the skies. It's a waste of time thinking that we're going to pray down a good nation. Even our God is a disciplined God, and he's a God of war. And so we cannot go on, behaving the way we do. And I tell you what, What I
Okay,
love about
so
Nigeria
Nigerian citizens need to engage, is what you seem to be saying. Nigerian citizens must engage a lot more actively than perhaps has been in the past.
Yes, and listen to this very quickly, and you see how wonderful, believe you me, Fulani, I often say to anyone that listens also, I had an early opportunity to get around the globe, and I saw people of the world. And I tell you what, I haven't seen a people as hospitable, kind, and easy to lead as Nigerians. They don't exist anywhere in the world.
Okay,
Believe
exactly.
it or not. Don't worry about. Now, an example is, anytime, and do this and see what I mean. Anytime you get to a crossroad where there is traffic light and all these taxis are running the red light, be the one to stop. I'm sure good example. Fulani, you'll be shocked. All those green and white taxis running through the red light will stop. But what do you find? As they run the red light, because perhaps traffic is not existing on the other two sides of of the road, and they are taking chances, and you see very responsible looking, expensive looking people in expensive cars joining those lowly individuals that they should teach.
You're very right.
Running the red light.
You're very, very
but
right.
As soon as I see it all the time in Abuja.
It's interesting.
A traffic light.
I hear you. Simon Kolawole wrote about this. These days, Simon Kolawole wrote about this exact situation that you're speaking about. And he was wondering, I think his caption was, will Nigeria ever get better? But in the meantime, I beg your pardon, I have Reverend Dominic also on the line. Let me bring Reverend Dominic in. Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning, Yore.
Okay.
Good morning, Dr. Jide.
Good morning, Reverend.
Dr. Goddy Ike. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can all hear you. Please go ahead.
There is something I didn't like about this discussion yesterday.
Okay.
I was driving out from office when you started it, so I didn't have time to call. What I didn't like is what my brother have done from UK now. Now, let us specify issues in Nigeria. We have an internal problem. America has the internal problem. UK has the internal problem. When we are talking about international diplomacy, we must be specified. Nigeria must not be neglected or despised. We are 200 million people to cry loud. And these 200 million people, over 1/4 of us are busy. You already have been to Dubai or recent. If you enter to Kenya Airways, if you enter to Emirates, I've been one or two times. Over 99.5% are Nigerians. One day I was in UAE, I saw these women from Nigeria. I began to ask myself, what are they looking for here? They were in the droves. As they're coming in also, there was no white man in the aircraft. It's Nigerians. It's about Naira and Kobo. It's about dollar and pound sterling. We will not be insulted. They said to me, Dr. Jide Johnson said something one day in the television. He said, what doesn't exist in your language doesn't exist in your life or in your culture. Hacking is not Yoruba language. It's not Igbo language. Hacking is American language or English language. So hacking is not from Africa. It's not from America. So when we are going to talk about ourselves, nobody should insult us because of somebody is a Yahoo boy or not. None of us is Yahoo. Go to America, Nigeria are running America, Nigeria are running Britain, Nigeria are running UAE. We must be respected. I give government kudos for this. Nobody should discuss about our issue when we are talking about the international reputation of Nigeria. Okay. We are the best in the world, I can say that.
Indeed.
Nigeria is the best. I travel world as a pastor. We are best in morality, we are best in character, we are best in everything. We are hardworking. So when we are talking about respect, we must stand up to say people must respect us.
Indeed.
When we talk about our terror issue, we discuss our terror issue. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic. Dr. Johnson, Nigerians indeed spoke up. The Adas of this country, the Dominics of this country, and so on and so forth. They spoke up.
And I'm proud.
Indeed, I'm black and I'm proud.
I love my African heritage. And you don't look down upon me because one bad apple.
Exactly.
Every culture,
you can't use
every society has bad apple. There's corruption in America. A governor of New York was impeached.
I mean, we could go on and on. You see, but Goddy was saying that he would have wished, and there are many Nigerians who say the same thing, that the ordinary Nigerian engaged more in these kind of matters.
That's the ripple effect we are talking about.
So that we could get,
ripple,
exactly,
ripple
so we could get the critical mass.
In your own little corner, give your best.
Indeed.
Do your best.
Indeed.
We should not expect change to start at the top. Nothing grows from the top.
You know, Goddy was narrating a story, and I think a lot of people watching this program would have seen, had that experience. You come to a traffic light, because there is no traffic from other junctions, and the light is red. The light is red.
That this morning. Get out, idiot! Go away! Why is that?
Exactly. And I just recalled that Simon Kolawole of this day wrote of the exact identical situation. Your experience was his experience.
The police.
People were abusing him. That what are you staying there for?
Because they saw the police driving against the traffic.
Unfortunately, yeah. Police drive against the traffic.
They saw
VIPs drive against the traffic.
They saw military men driving on road reserved for BLT. A general, a brigadier.
Yes.
Now
it's a different thing if it's on an operation. It's a different thing if it's on an operation. So we just need to clarify that.
You see, they see governors that have scheduled appointment using siren to pursue their employers away from the road. The governor knows his schedule. His protocol officer has ordered the schedule. You know, he will be at this event for 10. He will be at this event for 12. He shouldn't be using his siren to send me off the road. I employed him with my mandate. So there are responsibility for those that are public officials.
Yeah.
There are responsibility for those that are elected officials, and their responsibility for the citizenry.
Let's go the whole hog. Let's go the whole hog. When the president came to Lagos, when was it? Was it on Monday or Tuesday or what?
No, it was last week. It was last week.
It was last week. That was the Baba Konde book launch.
Last week Thursday.
You know how many streets they closed down in Lagos, and they were giving us advisories. Now that is for people who know a few other places apart from Nigeria. I don't know if they shut down the roads. I don't know if they shut down the roads because the Prime Minister of the UK has an appointment somewhere. I don't know if they shut down the roads. But in any case, Abdullahi, thank you very much, sir, for waiting all this while. Please go ahead now.
Okay. The contribution is that this is a clear sign and indication that Nigeria should remain as one indivisible country. Look at this cloud. Look at the reach. Look at this might. You know, even we can even make the US blink. Not only in Britain and UAE. I'm telling you this, but we should remain together, make corrections in our land, and push forward. Thank you very much.
Well, okay, thank you very much. You know, we often say, and I'm coming back to you, Goddy, you know, when we talk about these matters of unity in the country and the way we ought to be behaving, we recall with pride that when it comes to sports, for example, all Nigerians become one behind the national team. That's something that a lot of people say, why can't we extend that, you know, to other areas? Now, this, let me use the word, insult that both the UK and the UAE wanted to pass to Nigerians. Again, on this particular issue, all Nigerians are one. You know, you might have your complaints here and there, but everybody agree that we're not going to stand for it. Quite frankly, they weren't giving the government very much wiggle room in terms of, we will not stand for this. We are better than these people are trying to make us out to be. Does that give me your comments there? Nigerians are the same when they line up behind the national football team. Now this national insult, Nigerians became one again.
Larry, get this straight and right. Politicians are the ones creating this wrong image and wrong impression that Nigerians don't love each other. It's a big lie. I will share my personal experience. My security man at my gate has worked for me for 20 years. The little Hausa I speak today is due to his always insisting on communicating with me in Hausa rather than English. Out of his 11 children, 9 of them have passed through me to different sites to work here in Abuja. Mind you, I said he's worked for me for 20 years. And now, I want to tell you again, my very best younger friend in this whole world is a northerner, a young man from Kano. Those who know that I was born in Kano, perhaps, would say, oh, it's the affiliation of your place of birth. It's a lie. We met, became friends, and became honest to each other, and we've done a lot of big things together.
Okay.
Now, don't deceive yourself. Nigerians are very lovely people in terms of, it's just the response to bad governance over the years. This has been accumulating, and people are really getting very angry.
So you're saying, Goddy, that the impression of discord is largely the handiwork of Nigerian politicians.
Yes, of course.
Exactly. Because if you see next to me here, just across my wall, is an office where some gentlemen, a whole lot of them, are doing their business, and guess what? Almost 95% of them are northerners. I don't know what they do. I have never bothered to poke my nose into what they're doing there. But anytime I come down my rear staircase that faces their compound, everybody is saying, "Oh, Sanu, Yayade, Inakwana, Inageja," and all this blah 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 blah. And we all exchange greetings, and we further. Their security men come across and share time, and sometimes when my wife provides food, they come across and eat with my own security men, especially on Sundays.
So we're a lot more united. We're a lot more united than we give ourselves credit for, is what you're telling me, Goddy. Let me bring it.
That's correct.
I've got to talk to Yakub now in Dokwemo. Good morning, Mr. Yakub. Thank you for holding on. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in.
And then Dr. Jide and the other gentleman in the other side.
Goddy Ike.
Yeah, Mr. Goddy. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning,
I think with due respect to our brother and sister that is outside this country, because the issue is that the one of the caller that called early says that Nigeria is so corrupt, this, that doesn't mean that if all of us are corrupt. We still have a very good Nigerian citizen. So example is Mr. Yori there in the studio. Example is Mr. Jide Johnson in the studio. So you cannot just stay outside the country and believing that every Nigerian citizen are corrupt. Because
you're referring to Jide in the UK. Jide's call from the UK, yeah.
Exactly. We are not
where he criticized public servants.
Even though we have some of the elements, so-called politicians that is corrupt, that some of us knew them, even they know themselves. But let me tell you this, Kijori, during the Ebola time, Nigerian government did very fantastic job that time for making sure that they cop that thing, not for that not to spread. Now the UK and other developed countries are now telling us that we don't have right to come to their country. Look at your guest. He says something that I've never known in my life before. That Nigeria is the first person to donate aircraft to UAE or whatever. UAE. So how we find ourselves in this kind of station we have? It is a leadership. So this is a strong message to our Nigerian leader and then the politicians. They should look inward to make Nigeria great again. Thank you. Good morning. God bless you, sir.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Yakub. Goddy, coming back to you, the news reports, the UAE in particular, we hear that the Aviation Ministry hasn't responded, and also that the Air Peace Management also has not responded. So I guess this is part of the whole diplomacy game. After being insulted, you now calm down, you now write a nice letter. We're watching it. In the meantime, government has said that let's hold on a bit on retaliation. So all of the ground, the way it is as it should be, as it usually will be with diplomacy.
As a matter of fact, I do understand the mood of the Honorable Minister. I do understand the mood of government, and I can tell you, for once, I give them my thumbs up. This is the way to go for us to recover and retake our glory as a nation. There's no point hurrying to respond to them because we're not excited that they're saying they're giving us 6 against 21. It's a big lie. The Honorable Minister is going to come out with a napalm bomb. And that's what I'm expecting from him. Yeah, I would have said nuclear, but that's an overkill.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say there. It's an overkill, but at least a napalm bomb is what I'm expecting that the minister is going to throw out to the world when eventually he speaks up.
Okay.
I expect him to say to UAE, "Oh, thank you for your offer, but where we stand is 21 for 21.
Okay.
1 for 1, 2, 3 for 3, and so on and so forth."
Okay.
That's what I expect to come with.
And I think a lot of Nigerians.
Let's make the.
A lot of Nigerians will also see the logic of that. Okay.
Yes, let's make this a turning point for us as a nation.
Indeed. I want to thank you very much, Goddy Ike, aviation expert, joining us on the program this morning from Abuja. Thank you very much for your time, Goddy. Appreciate it. Okay, and we have from Ilorin. We have a caller from Ilorin. The name I don't have the name anymore.
Tayo from Ilorin.
Tayo from Ilorin. Good morning, Tayo.
Good morning, Uncle George.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
You're welcome, sir. First of all, I want to say good morning to your guest.
Good morning, sir.
I want to say God bless the military of Nigeria and the trust in journalists, including you, Mr. Yori.
Oh, you're very kind.
More thing I really want to say, if you go to somebody's house and they have a lot of dirty plates in the kitchen, you finish your food, you won't dare wash yours. But if the kitchen is so clean, you will never ever want to put a dirty plate in it. It's the same thing goes on in Nigeria.
Okay.
Some media follow CNN. Whatever they say about us, they say it too. I'm backing the last guy that called us. People in England or people overseas that talk nonsense about their country, they will not say good things. They are dumb. I'm very sorry to say that I live there too.
Okay.
But it's unfortunate when people cannot talk about Nigerians. 34 students did anything but medical, and they are Nigerians. Nobody talk good about them.
Indeed, I hear you.
When Abacha was the head of state, he do a lot of things that he advertised Nigeria. When it comes to helping other countries, it's Nigeria. We're not doing that anymore. We're not given a positive idea of Nigeria outside. So when they talk of Nigeria, oh, they're corrupt. Instead of you to shut them up, no, they join the argument. It's always unfortunate.
All right, then. I want to thank you very much. Thank you. Really,
you're welcome, sir.
We really appreciate your call coming in. It was our last call. Jide, all's well that ends well.
Yeah, and to take up from what Tayo said, we should say positive things about our country.
Indeed. And all this goes back to Jide calling in from the UK. And
negative things about our country.
Well,
I'm proud to be in Nigeria. I love my Nigerian heritage.
We let everybody say
I cannot
their piece.
substitute it for American citizenship or any citizenship of
Indeed.
the world. If we get it right, everybody will want to come to
Indeed,
Nigeria.
I agree with you. And we still welcome Jide's contribution. We will object, we will protest if we think it doesn't match with ours, but it is your opinion. And thank you all, everybody else. Different strokes for different folks, but most Nigerians are rooting for Nigerians, and Nigerians in diaspora, they annoy Nigerians at home when they begin to badmouth Nigerians without even being on the scene. That's our program today. Thank you very much, Dr. Jide Johnson, Chief Lecturer, NIJ, Mr. Goddy Ike, Aviation Expert, and indeed all of you out there, esteemed viewers that call into the program and make it what it is. That's our program today. Join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. God willing, I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.